down through some of the list. If you're listening and I didn't get you on the list, I'll pick you up on the end here. Jay, why don't you go ahead and take it NY6L and throw it over to John, K6KOI, and then over to Paul, K2LMQ, and then over to N6WHK, and then back to me, and we'll check and see who else is around. Go ahead and take it, Jay. NY6L, you got a great signal tonight, and your voice sounds much better from AK6R.
Okay, very good, Bob. Good evening to you and everybody in early check-in. NY6LK here in very cold Hesperia here. We're running a big whopping 68 watts, almost 50 degrees. 68 watts out of the Alder 103 and stock everything. And, just getting things going with Kaiser. I'm a new member and worked on that most of the day today. And this evening here, I'm starting to work on a project here. I got to make 40 boxes there, so I've already started doing that. So keeping busy. All right, John, K6KOI to pick it up. NY6L in very cold Hesperia. Take it away, John.
Hello. Well, give me a second. Having problems. Just like too many controls, K6KOI. Jay, you're coming in quite well. You sound good. And you got that Aldo 103 perking along so nicely. I'm using an SB10 sideband adapter running about, let's see, it looks like about 125 watts with a little 2-transistor amplifier and a Drake 1A. So, back to the group. I think it's K2LMQ, K6KY.
Yep, K6KOI in the gang. Hello, K2LMQ. Good evening, all. This is Paul in Kingman, Arizona. Nice to hear your voices, and it sounds like conditions are pretty good. I'm running the Cosmophone 35s into the SB200 and peaking about 300 watts into the inverted V at 75 feet. So let's turn it over to Phil, N6WHK, K2LMQ.
K2LMQ, November 6th, Whiskey Hotel Kilo. You're sounding mighty fine in San Diego. I'm running the Swan 350 Delta into an Ameritron amp. The amp's not finished by any means. I'm running about 400 watts. So that's the operating conditions here into a coaxial antenna. So with that, back to that control. AK6R and 6WHK.
N6WHK in the growing group, AK6R, very good. Well, I'd say just about everybody was 20 over, so excellent signals here. Either that or I got a great antenna, but I think it's a little bit of both. But signals are nice, not a lot of noise tonight either. It's pretty quiet, so that's cool. Anyway, let's turn it over to the next 5, and then we'll ask for some more check-ins. Paul, go ahead and take an N6BZY and turn it over to Ron, K2RP. And Ron, turn it over to Bob, WA9JIB. And then Bob over to Max, KJ6HN, and then back to me. And then we'll check in some more folks and then continue on from there.
N6BZY to take you at AK6R. AK6R, N6BZY. All right, well, I'm running about 80 watts here out of the Drake TR4. I got to do some work on this thing. It definitely needs some attention. So hope everybody can hear me okay. We're running into an inverted V at 35 feet. Anyway, nice day today, and everybody's got great signals, man. The band is rocking and rolling. K2RP, you're up, Ron, and 6BZY.
K2RP, you around, Ron?
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear him turn it over. Yeah, Bob, good to hear you. It's been quite a while. Your signal is wonderful. And let's see, we're in Encinitas. It got up to below 60s today, and it's kind of nasty and raw tonight. I did some work on this TR4CW. It'd be interesting to hear how it sounds. Probably a little raspy because my throat is raspy. But it seems to be working okay. Looking forward to the event tonight. Looks like you got a pretty good crowd. Over to Bob, WA9JIB, K2RP. Okay, Ron. K2RP in the group, WA9JIB. Bob here in La Cañada. Yeah, it's a bit chilly here too, but it's delightful. I love it. Happy New Year to all. And I'm running the helicopter station tonight. I'm going through a tuner that I got from you, Ron, from K2RP. So keep everything as it should be. So yeah, running the helicopter station tonight. Let's see, a note to Art, KB7L.
Well, that's not too
having a lot of fun with the NC188. Used it again on AMI last night. Did a little more repair on it. Secured those hanging electrolytics that were under chassis replacements for the one in the can. They're not just hanging there anymore. Replaced, I think, a 6AQ5 and a 6BE6 that were pretty weak. And I got plenty of those, so no big deal. And got the BFO working a little bit better. And still a little few things to do on it, but it's a workable receiver. And as I was working on it and had the power on, I was tuning the broadcast band, and I caught the tail end of the Rose Bowl and heard Michigan defeat Alabama on my 1958 or 59 NC188. That was pretty cool. With that, over to Max, KJ6HN, WA9JIB.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. And thanks AK6R. I don't know if you're taping the net or doing the earliest or what, but anyway, thanks for being there. And yeah, it's currently 33 degrees down here in Darwin, and gonna get down below freezing again tonight. No doubt about it. I've got 5 armloads of firewood next to my wood stove, keeping toasty all night long into the morning, and life is pretty good. Got a lot of friends here, and we had a Christmas dinner potluck, which was good, and very social town here, and so yeah, so that was good. And well, I'll talk more about the radio station when we get going with the let's see, what's how we're at about 120 watts right now with the amplifier on. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to readjust the amplifier. Anyway, I'll take care of that. Back over to Bob at AK6R, KJ6HN.
Yeah, KJ6HN, the growing group, AK6R. Very good, Max, and good to hear from you, too. And, yeah, I actually took the net last week. It was unofficial, but I took the earlies in the net. And guess what? You get to have me again next week as the net control. So, you had 3 weeks of Bob in a row, and that's probably enough. Aye. Anyways, anybody else want to get on the list? Come now.
WJ6W. Whiskey 6 Delta Quebec, W6DQ, and
Kilo Foxtrot 6 Quebec November Golf.
Okay, we got WJ6W, W6DQ, and KF6QNG. Good evening to everybody, and Happy New Year. And anybody else want to get on the list? Okay, so where were we? All right, the next on the list, actually a couple of comments on the radios that people are talking about. I came across this weekend at one of the estates, a Johnson pacemaker, the sideband version of the Valiant, and already had somebody who wanted it, so I just gave it to him. It needed quite a bit of work, and there was a little bit of rust on it, but somebody's going to have a good project, and you're probably going to hear it on this frequency probably sometime in the next couple months. KI6CSA is the guy that got it crisp, and he's been wanting one for the last 10 years, and I said, I think that's a good gift for you for Christmas, so we gave it to him. And I also came across a Drake L4B here which probably needs to be recapped for power supply, but it's available. If you're interested, drop me an email at ak6r@yahoo.com, and I'll be glad to talk to you about it. The price is right, and I'm sure you'll like it if you need a linear amp. Okay, let's turn it over to Vaughn, W6ZTA, and then turn it over to Larry, kilowatt Nancy 6 IYZ, and then Larry over to WJ6W, and then over to W6DQ, and of course toss the mic over to Lisa, KF6QNG, and then back to me, and we'll see where we are from there. W6ZTA to take it, AK6R.
Okay, AK6R, K6ZTA. Very good, Bob. Yeah, good to hear you last week and this week, and we'll look forward to hearing you next week, too. All right. Yeah, the handle here is Vaughn, Victor Oscar November, out here in Woodland Hills. I run through my routine here. And the rig is the Barefoot 100V that's tonight, and the inverted V at 55 feet at the apex. And the receiver is a Drake 2B. And the, let's see, what does it look like? Looks like I'm averaging about 100 watts out. Averaging about 100 out on the watt meter, the peak watt meter. And that's all I can ask for. All right, let me turn it over to Larry. KN6IYC. That's India Yankee Charlie from K6ZTA. Go ahead, Larry.
All right, Vaughn. Good to hear you. W6ZTA, Vaun, and KN6IYC here. Yeah, thanks, Bob, for getting me on. AK6R for getting me on the list there. Well, this is Larry, KN6IYC in the Granite Hills above El Cajon. Tonight I'm running the FT101E, and it looks like it might be picking up at about 100 watts when I'm into it. Anyway, yeah, the FT101E, and out over to my 8200 foot tuner, and then up to my inverted V at about 25 feet. And so yeah, that's the operating conditions here. Just returned from my this year's trip out in the desert. Good to hear everybody. Tuesday nights are rare for me to be able to get on the radio. I usually got a men's meeting I go to on Tuesday night, so this has been fun the last couple of weeks. Looking forward to tonight's net. And gosh, that's all I got to report right now. Happy New Year, everybody. That's all I can say. And I'll send it over to Dave. WJ6W, Dave, pick it up from KN6IYC.
KN6IYC, WJ6W. Very good, Larry. Thanks a lot. Excellent signal from you and everybody so far. Hope it hangs in there.
Yeah, well, let's see. Happy New Year to everybody. We had a very nice day today. We're running our Atlas 210X, which I worked on today. I replaced all the electrolytics that I had not previously replaced in the radio. The receive audio has been kind of raspy, and so I thought I should complete that, and definitely made quite a difference, so it's much easier to listen to. However, it does seem that the AGC still kind of has some overshoot, and I just, I put that in a search engine. I found a guy in the Netherlands who has a fix for it. I don't know if I'll put it in, but it takes another op amp and some parts and stuff, but I guess it's maybe a common problem with these. Anyway, we're running this with our 3001 amplifier, and looking forward to the net tonight, the roundtable rather. And Bob, yeah, we can't get enough of you there, so we're looking forward to the next week when you host. So let's see. I guess I turn it over to Dennis then. W6DQ, WJ6W.
Oh, great, Dave. WJ6W in the group, W6DQ here, Denison in Kern, where it's currently 41 degrees with clear skies. And, yeah, it's been getting colder and staying colder. It was down in the 20s last night here, which I don't like. Anyway, not a lot going on. Just waiting for the roundtable. It should be an interesting question of the evening tonight. And I may want to let my better half go first.
But anyway,
We'll see what happens. It'll be up to Mark. So, Bob, thanks for the earlies there. Appreciate that. You're doing a lot these last few weeks. Woo! Anyway, I think I'm taking. Am I taking earlies next week? I think I am. I think I've got the early list next week. So anyway, over to Lisa, KF6QNG in the group, W6DQ.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob, for taking the earlies this evening. So, yes, I too am looking forward to the roundtable. So, anyway, doing well here on this end and trying to stay out of trouble, which for me is sometimes not easy. But anyway, back over to you, Bob. AK6R from KF6QNG.
Well, I could say, Lisa, you're the sweetest voice tonight. Hi. And also, you're 40 over, so you guys got a great signal there, Dennis, and doing well. Dave, you were 30 over. Very nice signal tonight, and your Atlas is doing a great job, so no problems there. Let's finish off with the last two, or actually the first two, because I forgot to start there early. But KB7LOQ, Art, why don't you take a quick one and then turn it over to Chuck, N6AF, and then back to me, and then we'll see if anybody else wants to get on the list. KB7LOQ to take it from AK6R.
AK6R, this is KB7LOQ. Thank you, Bob, and thank you for taking the earlies. JIB, Bob, great to hear about the radio. Glad you got it tuned up there, and sounds like you're happy with it, and that makes me happy too. When I saw it at the swap meet, it was just in beautiful original condition, and I'm glad I was able to provide something from your boyhood back to you. And my back is recovered from the HT33A, but it's still sitting on the garage floor waiting for it to turn in line. Okie doke, over there to you, Chuck, in 6AF KB7LOQ.
All right, thanks. Good evening from Emerald Hills, Redwood City, in 6AF. I'm cheating a little bit tonight, but I've got an excuse. I am running a vintage SB220 about 300 out to the inverted V, but my usual KWM2 or Atlas 210X kind of got bumped out of the way by a 1971 homebrew tube transmitter that I've been using on AM. So I really can't use that here right now. So I'm on the a few transistors in the K3. So that's what's going on. And but anyway, having a lot of fun with the little tube transmitter. I built that shortly after I got my novice ticket, and of course never used it on AM, but used it on CW, and I've been running that through that homebrew amp that I usually use here in this group, that set of 4 MRF 421s. And with all of that effort, I end up having about a similar power level to a barefoot Viking Ranger, but not too much else to report. Had a good Christmas with all the family together, and snuck in a 40-mile bicycle ride this morning, just hammering with some of the guys in the club, and cheated Mother Nature. The drops started hitting my forehead as I headed into the neighborhood in the early afternoon, and it's been pouring rain here. I always like it when I can multiplex things like that with Mother Nature. So thanks for running the show, Bob. Back to you, AK6R from N6AF.
Yeah, Yeah, very good. 40 miles. I'm just tired of hearing about it. That's a great accomplishment there, Chuck. And I'm glad you could do it and get in there before the rain. But you were 20 over, by the way, and so was Art. Very nice signals tonight from everybody, actually. And hopefully we'll have a good, strong net from Arizona. Anybody else want to get on the list at the end here? Give me a call, please. Okay, very good. Thanks, John. Did you took a turn already, didn't you?
I just said I was here, and then you rotated to everybody else. I'm on that Galaxy 300, so I'll just sit around and wait.
Why don't you take one a little bit longer than that? I'm sorry I skipped you.
Oh, okay. Well, the Galaxy 300 had to be removed, and the two tables and strips on because they were used to support a dual 15 that was projecting the surf music out to the water at Wind and Sea yesterday. And that event was very fun, but the tide was so high they couldn't run the contest because it was too dangerous. But the old pros were out there, and boy, what a show they put on. And we had a good time playing, and so it was a momentous day. Anyway, I'm glad I could be back today. Back to you, AK6R, WA6JUS.
Yeah, WA6JUS, AK6R. Yeah, I saw the pictures of the high tides all the way up and down Southern California here. It was just amazing, and really something else. And hopefully there wasn't any accidents, more so than normal. But that's a unique phenomenon. Lots of reasons why it could happen, but we won't go into those here. Anyway, anybody else want to get on the list before I run through it again, or at least start running through it? Come now, please. All right, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 folks on the list, so we should have a good discussion tonight. And I'm still thinking about the question for next week, but I've got some pretty good ideas. It has to do with the new year, of course, and some of the projects that we all have scheduled and stuff. So, but be interesting to hear about what the question of the night is what does your spouse think about your ham radio endeavors? And I'm sure Mark will go into the details of that when he takes over. And speaking of Mark, are you around? Mark NU6X AK6R.
Very good. Well, I got a bonus. My wife is a ham, and she's a general class license holder, and her call sign, Diane's call sign is KC6OXE. And, about 9 months after we got married, she went and got her novice through Gordon West, Marina Del Rey, because she had a class going on over there, and, she wanted to take it and didn't even push her, so that's my 2 cents worth there. So, I got a lot of ham gear here, and my wife tolerates it. So anyway, and Bob, don't lose your voice, because it's taken me a couple of weeks to regain my voice. So anyway, John, K6KOI, words of wisdom, NY 6L Hysteria.
The words of wisdom will be listening to your life, K6KOI. My voice is low because I had some nausea yesterday, and anyway, it took its toll on my vocal cords. I do have a suggestion for everybody, and that is when we get this thing started, you might keep your transmissions a bit short, because I know Mark is having problems with his back, and he has a limited amount of time that he can be in that position where he's operating his equipment. Just a thought. K2LMQ, K6KOI.
Thank you, John. Been good to hear you. K6KOI, K2LMQ. Okay, first of all, Happy New Year to everyone. Let's hope it's a good one all the way around, and let's hope we survive the way things are going. But Happy New Year. Anyway, a couple of comments here. Ron, K2RP, I got your note today on the CX, and I will be active in it. And let's see, weather here has been very cold. We're up at 4,000 feet near Kingman, Arizona, and it's been very cold and a bit windy here. Let's see. And that's, yeah. And Bob, thank you for taking the net tonight. That's about it. Let me toss it over to Phil. And good to hear everybody. N6WHK and the gang. K2LMQ.
K2LMQ. Fine business, Aaron. Everybody is sounding so good tonight. I'm surprised how well everybody's sounding. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. I might jinx it. But I'm running, like I say, I'm running my Swan rig here and copying everybody beautifully. And so I'll keep all the rest of the comments for the next part of the net. AK6R and 6WHK.
It's 6WHK, very good, and nice signal from everybody as usual. All right, let's turn it over to K6BZY, and then turn it over to Ron, K2RP. We'll get the report directly from Ron, and then over to Bob, WA9JIB, and then Bob over to Max, KJ6HN, back to me, and then we'll finish up and go from there. It's up to you.
AK6R and U6X.
I think that means me, 6BZY. Alright, well, as far as my spouse, I'm very blessed. My wife loves ham radio. She has no desire to get a ticket, but she likes ham radio and enjoys the hobby, and has always been very supportive, and since it led to my career and everything, she no complaints with it. That's the deal there. Anyway, not much else. My mother thought it was a great hobby, and so did my dad. I started when I was 13 years old, 1958. And they were both extremely supportive of it. So it all worked out. Anyway, I want to keep it moving. We got a pretty good sized group in here. Over to you there, Ron. Hope you can copy me. I did a little tuning and I got them up to about 100 watts now. But I got to put some real finals in this old beast. K2RP and 6B, Z, and a Y.
Okay, Paul, very good. I did hear Mark coming in, and I don't know if, Bob, you want to stop this round, and it's 5-0. You might want to read him the list. What do you say? What was that again? I said Mark and U6X came in just before Phil did. I thought you might want to get the list because it's 5-7. Yeah, roger that. Okay. Well, let's just see if is our I got to think of something for a second here. Who else is excuse me? Who else has gotten ready to be ready for the list?
I'm ready to take the check-ins, Bob, when you have a chance.
Okay, you ready? We've got about 15 or 16 names here. You ready?
Yeah, I turned on my radio here about 5 minutes ago or so, and I just can't believe how everybody's blasting in here. It looks like there's a good propagation at the moment, so let's take advantage of it while we can. So fire away with the list. I'm ready for it.
Okay, roger that. The first one is Kilowatt Baker 7, Lima Oscar George, KB7 LOQ, name is Art. And then next comes N6 Alpha Fox, N6AF, and that's Chuck. The next one is NY6L, NY6L Nancy Yankee 6 Larry, and his name is Jay. And then next we have K6KOI, and that's John. How's that copy so far?
That's it. Keep on going.
All right, then we got K2LMQ. That's Paul. Followed by Nancy 6 Whiskey Henry Kilo. That's Phil. And then next is Nancy 6 Baker Zulu Yankee N6BZY. That's Paul. And after that we have K2RP, and that's Ron. Over.
Yeah. Can you give me Phil's call sign again?
K2LMQ. That's Paul.
No, Phil, the person after Paul.
Okay, that's Nancy 6 Whiskey Hotel Kilo, N6WHK. That's Phil.
Okay, got it. And so continue after K2RP. I'm ready.
Okay, we got WA9JIB, and then let's see, WA9JIB, and then KJ6HN. That's Max. Followed by WA9JUS, Judge Uncle Sam, that's John. And then W6 ZTA, W6ZTA, that's Vaughn. Over.
Okay, Vaughn. Vaughn's W6ZTA or is it K6ZTA?
I think it's K6ZTA, actually, although I wrote down W6.
Okay.
Okay, then we've got Kilowatt Nancy 6, India Yankee Charlie, KN6IYC, and that's Larry. Followed by Dave, Whiskey Japan 6W, WJ6W, and then W6DQ, which is Dennis. And after that is Lisa, KF6QNG, Kilowatt Fox 6, QNG, and Bob, AK6R. You can put me in the front four somewhere if you can. And that's all I got. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me see. KN6IYC, Larry, that's one that I recognize. Where's he located?
Who was that again?
The KN6IYC, Larry. What's his QTH? Do you know?
Yeah, San Diego.
Okay, we got San Diego. I just didn't recognize that call. Okay, and we'll put Bob AK6R. We'll insert you number 4 right after J. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works just fine. I think there was somebody else calling too.
Okay. I'll pick up any remaining check-ins here in just a second. So let's see. Just amazed how everybody's pounding in, and I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that my antenna holds up. Had a lot of malfunctions in the station here over the last couple weeks, and my ability to get underneath the desk and rewire things and all that kind of stuff is limited due to my back. But let's see. Okay, I don't remember the whatever we call that. So I'm gonna just skip. This is NU6X in beautiful Sedona, Arizona, for the Vinny's High Band Roundtable, and we're gonna move through this pretty quick. So don't get too long-winded, or at least I'll have to stand up and walk away for a while to keep my back loosened up. But let's see. So the question for the evening is, what does your significant other think of your ham radio hobby? What does your significant other think of your ham radio hobby? And I want to hear what Lisa's answer is going to be on that one. I'm looking at Lisa on Zoom at the moment. Anyway, so this is NU6X for Vinny's High Band Roundtable. Let's see if we have any more check-ins, and then we'll start things off. So go ahead. Anybody else?
Yeah, Mark, did you get me down? W6YEC?
W6YEC, and I know your name. It's George, and it used to be WB6YEC.
Yeah, that's many years back. Yeah, that's true. Hey, by the way, Larry is, he's from down here in our area. He actually lives in Crest, which is an unincorporated area of San Diego. So just to be accurate about that, so he didn't get upset with me.
back to you there, Mark, W6YEC.
Okay, great to hear it. And everybody has got some pretty reasonable signals. And Bob, AK6R, you are just blasting in here. And so it's good to hear you. And let's see, I'm just looking at things. I'm still putting out power. I haven't blown up my receive-only antenna. And so let's hope we can get through this. So, we'll start with the first four. Again, the question, what does your significant other think of your ham radio hobby? And I think the question is intended, your current significant other. I've had several of them, and they have all had different opinions, but we'll only talk about the current time. So, let's go ahead and grab the first four. That's KB7LOQ. Art, it's good to hear you. And you were just booming in here, Art. After that, we have Chuck, N6AF, N6 Alpha Fox. And then if you would turn it over to JNY6L, and after you're done, Jay, send it to AK6R, Bob, and Bob back to me. So go ahead and take it away, KB7LOQ.
Yeah, very good, Mark. NU6X, KB7LOQ, Little Horse here. Picked up a virus in Mexico over the Christmas holiday and trying to get over it. I'm on the Kenwood TS820 that I picked up from a fellow single sideband roundtable member, and driving a B&W PT2500A linear amplifier that we recently got going. And I'm working. We did the HT32A mark, and I'm going to lash it up to the SX101A, and we'll have another station online. Good evening to John JUS down there in San Diego. And again, Bob, good hearing you on tonight. John, KOI, I heard your audio on 7255 earlier, or was it 7155? And when you came on first tonight, it was like night and day. You really sounded good, so good job. My wife, Linda, is an award-winning, accomplished high school choir director, and I support her in all her doings with that, and she in turn supports me in my ham radio hobby. I think the best thing is I walled off half of the garage and wired it up and have all my stuff in here, so it's not seen, it's out of the way. The antenna is a bunch of wires, but it's not too bad. So she's very supportive, and I appreciate that. She wants me to be happy. She wants me to stay busy in these retirement years, and she likes my vintage Fender electric guitars and amplifiers, and she will go shooting with me. She likes that. So anyhow, life is good up here in St. George, Utah. N6AF, Chuck, KB7LOQ.
All right, thanks. November 6 Alpha Fox. Again, cheating here using the K3. I've got the vintage spot taken up with an old homebrew transmitter that I can't really bring up on here. It's strictly AM. So I like the question, and I'll answer it rather than my wife. But years ago, in the early part of our marriage, once the pterodactyls quit circling overhead, I mustered a TET is the name of this beam, a 4-element tri-bander onto a mast above our house. This is at a different location, of course. And when she came home, I greeted her in the driveway and said, I'll help bring in the groceries. And she stopped and she looked up, and I thought, here it comes. I mean, she had an inkling that I was going to do this. And you know what she says? She says, Charles, that looks pretty cool. And that's when I knew I had it made. But fast forward a while here, and about every 2 months,
when she comes downstairs into the shack, she'll say, you got too many radios in here. What are you going to do with all these big old radios? And, all these boat anchors and all that. And I'll just kind of look at her and I'll say, Mary, there are worse habits. And that'll shut it down for another 2 months. So that's my answer. Over to Jay, NY6L, N6AF.
Okay. Good evening to all. NY6L. Jay here in Hesperia. We'll keep it short and sweet. Running Aldo 103 barefoot here. To a dipole about 40 or so feet. And doing about 64 to 60 watts on peak. Well, let me see here. How can I answer the question? My wife, she is a ham. And she's a general class holder. And, she thinks that it's an asset to have in case of an emergency, which did come in handy years ago when I lived in West Los Angeles, Northridge earthquake, where it shook our West LA house pretty good, and no electric power, no cell phone back then, and landline phone was dead. You picked it up, no dial tone. So, ham radio did come in handy for talking to her on Simplex, and I used HF to talk out of sync back then. So it, my wife definitely thinks of it as an asset for emergency. So there you go. And over to Bob, AK6R, NY6L Hesperia.
NY6L in the group, AK6R. Well, very good, Jay, and everybody else. And thanks for putting up with me during the beginning parts of the net. And tonight we're running a modern rig actually because my other one's been put away. I'm kind of tearing the whole shack apart and putting everything back together again. And a couple people have borrowed most of the radios that I have, and I'm just on one radio right now. But everybody sounds good. Very strong signals tonight. And I guess the answer to the question is an interesting one from my perspective. I bought Palomar Engineers back in 2010, I think it was, after my good friend passed away, and we bought it from his kids who were accountants and didn't know anything about ham radio to speak of, and the company was in a 10-foot by 10-foot storage area. And we completely redid the company and got it into radio frequency interference and also into antennas, and now we're a huge antenna company, which I had not originally started out to be, but that's what we became. And Susie, my wife, is the president of that company, so she's very much involved, and she 100% supports what we're doing, and also takes a lot of activity in what we're doing too. So it's been an interesting association, and she's really supported us 100% in what she's doing and things like that. So with thousands and thousands of customers and people calling us all the time, it's really made our lives much more open and available to everybody else. So including the people that I meet on this net, as well as all around the world, it's absolutely exciting. So I wouldn't trade it for anything. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. Having a great time in ham radio, and also in what she and I are sharing together. Okay, back to net control, NU6X from AK6R. Thanks, Mark, for taking the net tonight, and we'll see everybody next week.
Okay, fantastic, Bob. Bob, I forget your wife's name. Can you remind me?
Yeah, Sugar Uncle Easy, Sue.
Yeah, I remember when we were at the DX convention, and we all had a lot of fun. She was a kid. Okay, fantastic. And let's see. I liked, if I can only read my own writing, Art. My comment to you, Art, is you saying she likes to go out shooting with you or at you?
With me, and her favorite gun is a Rossi lever action in .357, and we shoot 38 special round-nose lead bullets out of it. It's just so fun to shoot.
Okay, well, very good, very good, very good. And then Chuck, great on the antenna, and of course I met your Jay. I met your wife many times. Okay, so this is NU6X for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable. Let me see if I have anybody else after W6YEC. Is there any more check-ins for the Vinny's Roundtable? Okay, nothing heard. I'm starting to get East Coast coming in off the back of the antenna. My antenna, the termination on the long end has broken, and so I'm not really. It's not doing very well on preventing the East Coast from coming in. Okay, let's see. Let's go to John K6KOI, followed by Paul K2LMQ. It's been a long time, Paul. Since you and I talked. Then it goes to Phil, N6WLK. And after that, Phil, it goes to N6VZNY, N6BZY. Paul, send it back to me. Go ahead and take it, John.
K6LGL, John. Okay, N6X, K6KOI, and K6LGL wanted to be checked in there, Mark. And so, signals are good. They're starting to go down just a little, so I'll be pretty fast here. Angela, my wife Angela, is very supportive of the hobby and always has been because she knows that it's important to me, so it's important to her, and that's the way I feel about her hobby, which is saltwater aquariums. We tend to support each other. Angela really didn't take a whole lot of interest per se in the hobby herself until September 1985, when the major earthquake hit Mexico City, and ham radio was the only way to get through to her family because the phone lines were down, international lines were down. And it changed her view a little bit. I think it became more obvious to her that there might actually be some use besides entertainment of her husband. But we've been married 56 years, and we tend to support each other, and maybe that's why we're married 56 years. Over to you, Paul, K2LMQ, K6KOI.
Thank you, John, and congratulations on the long marriage. That's terrific. I don't even have that many years cumulatively. Anyway, sorry I had to. Thanks, John. This is Paul K2LMQ in Kingman, Arizona. And Mark, great to hear you. Great to hear your voice, and it has been a long time. And when you guys get back and settled in, we'll figure out how to get together. It's been way too long. And by the way, Mark, I'm on the Cosmophone 35 tonight that you set up for me, and still running like a dream, so thank you again. Anyway, that's the story here. The story with my wife is she's appreciative of the radios and that I spend the time here at home, and is very happy that I have my hobbies to keep me busy. And like art, she shoots with me, which is not at me, which is my other hobby there. So, and speaking of shooters, let's toss it over to Phil and see what's going on. N6WHK, K2LMQ.
K2LMQ. Thank you. N6WHK in the coop. A very nice signal from everybody tonight. Like I said earlier, I'm running my Swan 350 Delta and to a coaxial antenna. Design I got from YEC, and it's working beautiful. My wife was, before she came down with cancer, she was studying to become a ham, and she was doing very well, doing better than me on the question. Then she came down with a big C disease, and that put a stop to everything. We spent more time in the hospital than doing anything else. And I used to take her shooting all. I shot a 357. She'd shoot the 22 or the 30-06, and was pretty darn good shot. A lot better than I was expecting. Anyway, with that, I don't have a heck of a lot tonight. As like I say, she came down with cancer and passed away several years ago. So I have nothing we can really say about it. So with that, over to Paul. M6BZY, November 6th, Whiskey, Hotel Kilo.
That M6BZY?
I don't hear him either.
I don't hear him either, Mark.
Hey, John.
Okay, M6BZY, are you there? This is NU6X. Okay, so it looks like he stepped away, and I'm having a little trouble with the East Coast, and so if it's a weak station, I don't know if it's coming out from the East Coast or whether it's just someone who's weak. So first of all, a comment to Paul. Don't feel bad. I've been married 3 times. I haven't come close to totaling 56 years, I think. And of course I never will. So that's a long time, John. Congratulations. And very sorry, Phil. I was wondering about this question, how this was going to go over, not knowing where everybody was on things, but I took a chance. So anyway, okay, so that's, let's see, that's that. Let's go pick up. Well, first of all, I will answer my question. Maki, she's Japanese. We've been together for 2.5 years plus. We go to Japan. In fact, we're at least once a year for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. And she was very, very supportive of me going out to Akihabara and coming back with a radio. They just didn't have any inventory of anything at the Japanese ham radio stores in Tokyo, which was rather surprising. But she's a great lady, and she's very supportive, and I have a lot of radios, and I keep them confined to store them next to the garage in the radio room. They're not spread out all over the house as they were a number of years ago. So let's see. This is NU6X for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable. And Skip, I have you. You're at the bottom of the list. Don't get excited. It'll take a while to get to you. So let's take the next 4. K2RP, Ron. After you're done, send it to WA9JIB in La Cajada, and then Bob, send it to KJ6HN, Max, KJ6HN, and then to WA9JUS, John, and then John, send it back to me. Go ahead and take it, Ron. K2RP, this is NU6X for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable.
Okay, very good, Mark. Thanks for taking the net, and of course to Bob for doing the earlies. This weekend was the ARRL straight key night, and we participated in that. Ran into John, KOI, and another mutual friend on the air, and hadn't seen him for a long time. But the rig I used was a Viking 1 and a SX71. And the reason I used it is that they were about to celebrate their 75th birthday. They both came out in 1949. Also, we ran into a friend of Dennis's, W6DQ. I think it's WA6ARA, who said he knows you quite well. So we ran into him on straight key night as well. I wanted to mention that just to before I forget. At any rate, I would change the question a little bit. What does your significant other think about ham radio? We'll never know, because she's a great wife like mine is. She doesn't go into that specifically. The question is, in my mind, is how do they react to it, how do they accept it. She's 1,000%. She doesn't have any interest in the hobby itself, but is always there for me. Twice we've driven from San Diego to Dayton and giving out mobile contacts on the way to county hunters, going into the wilds of Texas and all kinds of places to put out rare counties. She did a lot of the driving with not a bit of complaint. The only thing she complained about is when I wanted to do CW while I was driving, and she didn't like that. But other than that, she was great. We both times that we went to Dayton, the first time we had a friend that was in Arizona, met me there, met us there, and the next time both NU6X and K6KOI met us there, so we were pretty much on our own, and she found things to do and enjoyed it, loved it, so she's as supportive as any person could be. What she really feels about it, see, I'm not as lucky as John is. We've only been married 32 years, and I think one of the things was a second marriage for both, and I think we both learned to keep our mouth shut. We didn't learn that on our first marriages, I guess.
Thank you.
Combined, I was just thinking, the two marriages were 52 years, so I'll never catch up to John, but it's been a great 32 years with her, and I have no complaints. I mean, every Tuesday she's concerned about the net. Are we going to eat beforehand or after? Anything that needs doing, she says, go on your net, enjoy it. She does things that normally would be my bailiwick, so I can't say enough good things about her. Okay, over to Bob, WA9JIB, K2RP.
Okay, Ron, K2RP in the group, WA9JIB, Bob here in La County, California. I'm the Bob Road Bowl, and I'm running MC50 microphone into my Telecaster station, HD32B, SS115, 548 speaker, SJ tuner I got from you, Ron, and antenna's inverted V dipole hanging off a 35-foot mast. Signals are still good, band is quiet, don't know how long it'll last. Anyway, on to the question. So I don't have a wife, I have a girlfriend. We've been going together over 20 years. Cherie, C-H-E-R-I-E, dear one. She lives up here. And many of you have met her at picnics and things like that. And yes, she's quite supportive of my hobby. I'm supportive of her thing. Both of us have this music thing that we do, which is more than a hobby, almost an avocation. So we support each other for that. But then, my hobbies, which are trains and radios and science fiction, she's very supportive. Of course, we live in separate houses. She's got her condo, I got my place. We're both filled with clutter. I don't know how we could ever fit under the same roof, but she's happy to have me rummage, be around my toys, and I'm happy to have her be around her toys. And it's worked for us for decades. So with that, let's see. Oh yes, and I'll echo, I think what Chuck said, shoots me out of other things that would be more objectionable. So let's see, I turn it over to Max, AJ6810, WA9JIB.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Good transmission. Sounds like the main So, anyway, I'm running my mil-spec transceiver into an Alpha 77SX amplifier and out to a 12-gauge flexible transmitter. So that's the station details of what you see. And as to the question, well, I have not had a significant other for 24 years or thereabouts. 23 to 24 years. So I don't have to contend with what other people might have to contend with. Oh wait, no, I
did have a significant other from 2003 to 2007. I literally bumped into a woman at Bagel Works outlet in Northridge, and she was from France, and she was making an order, and I heard her French accent, and I knew she was a French woman, and suddenly she whirled around, bumped into me, almost knocked me over, and so we spent some time outside on a little patio table, and we had a great relationship, which lasted about maybe 4 years, 5 years, something like that, and at the end of that, it ended, and that was the end of that. So I don't have a significant other, but back when I was married from 1984 to 1984 to 2000, my ex-wife supported my ham radio hobby, and she thought it was rather interesting being able to talk to people around the world. So I have had that experience of having a significant other enjoy the hobby that I have a passion for. So I guess that's all I have to say about it. And let's see. I guess I turn it over to WA9JUS from KJ6HN.
Thank you. This is WA6JUS. John in Claremont, Prairie Mesa, San Diego. I've been married for 30 years now. Second marriage, met Joan, my wife, 89. And very soon, also worked under the leader of Naval Electronics Lab post World War II. The leader of that who was sparked out in World War II was a good friend of my dad. They competed as a skimmer at the Opera, and so he did a lot to get me interested in electronics in basic school at the base college, and those people started the jazz education in City College in Mesa, and I went to the electronics technology program there at the and they saddled me up with all this Navy research equipment, including an FX350, a 375 capstan controller to give constant 60 cycle on ships. And so in the middle 90s, under their encouragement, I put in a 350 with the capstan controller and also something to create flashbacks like the Sun Records. And my wife was very supportive. I did this in her garage, I think this before we were married. And she was maybe revealing more than I should, but she made a little cartoon. Here's looking at you, Ham Pick, CEO. And so ever since there, we go back and forth that way, encouraging each other to get with it, even though we're slow moving. And the stars thankfully, and the Ampex has come back into prestige again. But since that, and then after that, the AM ham radio community ramped up in early 2000s and encouraged me a lot. And my wife is still very supportive. So back to Matt from WA6JUS.
Okay, thanks, John. Conditions are really deteriorating, at least to me, and whatever the East Coast stations that are basically on the same frequency are coming up, so we better move this along pretty quick. This is ENU6X for the Vinny Type Band Roundtable. Let's pick up the next four.
That make it the next 5, and then I'll get the end. So the next 5 is K6ZTA, Levon, K6ZTA, followed by Larry, KN6IYC, then to Dave, WJ6W, then to you, Dennis, W6DQ, and then your lovely wife, Lisa K at 6QNG, and then Lisa sent it back to me, and then I'll get the remainder of the list. So, Vaughn, go ahead and take it. This is NU6X.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Yeah, I hope you're copying me all right through the East Coast stuff that's coming in. NU6X K6ZTA. Yeah, tonight we're on the 100B barefoot. At any rate, the answer to the question for me is that when I was working full time up until about three years ago, my radio time was kind of limited because weekends I was very busy with my wife. Well, now since I've retired, actually I'm spending a lot of time on the radio, and my wife is very supportive of it, and it keeps me off the streets. So that's kind of where it's at, and we're really happy with the situation. She even reminds me of when she knows on Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night to hurry me along for dinner and make sure I make the net or the round table, whichever is going on. So with that, I'll keep it short, and over to you, Larry. KN6IYC, K6ZTA.
All right, K6ZTA, Vaughn, thanks a lot. And the NU6X, Mark, thanks for getting me on the list for the net tonight. Oh my goodness, well, I've been married to for 48 years, and since we're both musicians, she's a piano player and piano teacher, and I think we'll have journey so we're very supportive of each other's hobbies and things like that. We realize we've got to have things that are separate, away from each other. Anyway, she's really supportive. Back in the 70s, she was recording my song citizen band radio and standards and things like that, and taking it one time. Had to take her back north during the child rearing years. She started having children. So she's very supportive of the ham radio hobby. She knows how much I really enjoy it. And I've got a detaching garage with shacks in the back of it, and none of the antennas are on the house. You get to go in the house, and actually a lot of my stuff's in someone else's yard, as a matter of fact. Anyway, I don't have things all over the house, particularly my detached garage. Very supportive, and I'm very thankful for that. And that's my story. And coming at you tonight from the FCC 101, and maybe 100 watts when I really get after it. Anyway, that's the story from here. Dave, I'm going to get to you, and you can answer the same question. Pick it up from KN6IYC, California.
KN6IYC, WJ6W. Yeah, Larry, I'll try to answer that question too. Hi. Let's see, we're running the Atlas 210X, as I said earlier, and today I replaced all the remaining electrolytic capacitors in it I hadn't replaced before, and it's still sitting on my bench here kind of naked with the cover off. I didn't put it all back together and back in the console yet, just want to run it for the group here and see how it performed. And the receive audio is much better than it was, and maybe the transmit audio is better. I don't know. Anyway, the 210 is also feeding into the Collins 30L1 for a little more power.
Okay, so for the question, my wife is definitely supportive of my hobby because she knows how important it is to me, and she's very accommodating for my net duties when I'm hosting, and and try to attend most of them on time. So we eat, we get dinner together in time. She's always asking what times we need to prepare for. But she has absolutely no interest in the hobby at all. Other than she enjoys some of the good friends we've made because of ham radio over the years. So that's been her advantage to me having a ham radio hobby. And I guess that's the story here. So I'll send it over to you, Dennis. W6DQ, WJ6W.
All right, Dave, very good. WJ6W in the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. W6DQ here. Dennis out here at Kern, running the KWM 380 with the Alpha 87 out to the horizontal loop, 540 feet of wire, strung around at about 50 feet in the air, and talking on an SM280 Collins microphone with this KWM 380. Well, Mark, it's a great question, and Lisa was saying, you were picking on Lisa earlier. Shame on you. Oh, I guess I started it, huh? I don't know. Anyway, we were getting a kick out of that. But, I got to say, we've got a pretty good ham radio relationship. She's sitting right next to me, and she's next in line, and I can't say anything bad about that. I think it's awesome. It's fantastic. It's how we met. 24 years ago, something like that, back around 1999, something like that. We met through a radio club that we both belonged to, the ARALB, Associated Radio Amateurs of Long Beach. We were both officers in that club at one time, and so we've known each other quite a while, but we've only been married, coming up on 5 years. Wow. But we have known each other a long time, so that's cool. But she's very supportive of what I do, and the Radio Shack is a separate building from the house. And I made a pact that I wouldn't put any of the radios in the house, but we do have one radio in the house because we are active in our local ARES group. I am the emergency coordinator, and she's an assistant emergency coordinator for our local group here in Eastern Kern County ARES. I'm also the assistant section emergency coordinator for San Joaquin Valley section here, so we are very active on that. So I at least have one of our radios is in the house, and that's really just a monitor, two meter repeater here in the valley. So we've got it made. We try to do a lot of stuff together. She's very supportive of the things that I do with ham radio. One of the things that I've been very active with for a long time is speaking at club meetings and conventions and conferences about radio topics, and of course on Rat Pack as well, which is the thing we do every week. She supports that, and has, we go to the conventions together, Pacificon and Southwest Division, the Microwave Update, things like that. We share that, and so it's a good deal. I really appreciate the fact that she supports what I do, and we have a lot of fun together with it, like we are right now. We're here on the Vintage Sideband Roundtable. We do the Friday night Collins Net. She's one of our net control operators. I can't ask for more with that. That's very cool. And occasionally we participate in the AMI network as well, which is a lot of fun. And as others have said, the friendships that we've built out of this, we share so many friends with amateur radio. It's just become wonderful. So we appreciate this group a great deal. So Mark, thanks for being the host this evening with a great question. And thanks to Bob for taking the early list. And with that, I'm going to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and a great holiday. And I'm going to send it over to Lisa so she can say whatever she's going to say. I don't know. KF6QNG and the Vintage Sideband Roundtable, W6DQ.
Okay, well, my name is not E.F. Hutton, but it seems like everyone listening to what I have to say, I would think you'd be more interested in Dennis's answer, because, you know, anyway. So what do I think of Dennis's hobby? I don't have a problem with it. I never have. You know, we made the decision not to have a lot of radios in the house, but I never have had a problem with having radios in the house. It just worked out that his prior home ended up being his ham shack, so it just worked out that way. But I've never been one of those that say, no, you can't put up an antenna, no, you can't do that, no. So, anyway, I did try to be supportive.
Help me put up antennas.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. So, there was a time, you know, when we started out, and that, I wouldn't say ham radio so much was the problem. It's just, you know, Dennis had been on his own for a long time, so, you know, he just had to get acclimated to being a we and not just an I, you know, as we all do when we get together. So, anyway, we've come a long way, and I'm very thankful for that. And as far as being married, holy cow, I've been married for a total of 30 years. So, anyway, coming up on 31 years. I was just a baby when I got married. Anyway, so thank you, Mark, for hosting this evening, and send it back to you. So, any success from KF6QNG?
Okay, very good, Lisa, and the rest of the last four. And Dennis, I wasn't picking on Lisa, I was picking on you.
Really? Well, I didn't take it that way. Or she didn't take it that way. I don't know. One of us didn't take it that way. We were chuckling over it anyway, but W6DQ, back to you.
Very good. Very good. And I think I can't accumulate more than 15 years of marriage. So I'm very impressed with these folks with 32 years, 56 years, 48 years. It's pretty amazing. Okay, and then the question, so Lisa, I like the we part. That was excellent. But I have a question for you, Lisa. I didn't understand that or knew that you occasionally host the Collins Net. Why not the Vintage Sideband Roundtable?
Because the Collins Net has like 4 operators. The Vintage Single Sideband Band Roundtable has like 8 or 9 or more. So I don't know. But anyway, but one thing that is a problem for me is because I don't have the vintage gear, so I wouldn't have any idea what kind of question to come up with. I mean, I don't even get to answer them very often because they don't usually apply to me, which, you know, I understand that. So anyway, it's just my choice, and, you know, if that changes if I can retire, then, you know, maybe that'll change. I don't know. But for now, I got too much going. Back to you. Any suggestions from KF6QNG?
Yeah, Lisa, I was just giving you a rough time. And part of our problems with hosts is we're going downhill. We're having problems coming up with a schedule. So, and I think that you would be an excellent host because, you know, you'd keep all these guys in order. Anyway, excellent. Let's see. let me see if we have any other check-ins, and I'll pick up the last few. Any other check-ins for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable? This is NU66. Hold on. What was the Bravo India Papa, was it? Oh, BIP. Gary. Let's see. There's something wrong with your audio, but we have you at the bottom of the list. That's, what's your prefix?
Whiskey Alpha 7, over.
Okay, WA7BIP. Yeah, there's something going on with your audio. Okay, let's pick up the next, the final three, and then we're going to shut things down because the East Coast is just starting to get difficult to be able to copy. But I gotta say, both Dave and Dennis and Lisa fantastic signals into Arizona. So I don't know if the propagation has changed or if you just have a good antenna. So let's see. Let's pick up George, W6YEC. George, when you're done, if you'd send it over to Skip, K6LGL, and then after Skip, it goes to Gary. Write down NA7BIP. No, it's not NA7. Oh, I forget that. WA7BIP. Can't even read my own writing. And then Gary sent it back to me. With that, go ahead and take it, George. W6YEC. This is NU66 for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable.
All right, Mark. Very good. Thank you much. W6YEC on the Vintage Sideband Net. Very enjoyable listening here tonight to all the different stories. Larry, by the way, the FT101E sounded fine on there tonight. Nice to have you join us. That's for sure. Anyway, I'm running the TS520 Sugar tonight, driving the 30L1. And one of my favorite combinations here with the MC50 microphone. And let's see. I don't hear too much interference in there. Probably Arizona's getting it worse than we are here, Mark. Anyway, it hasn't been bad at all. Sitting back, just relaxing, enjoying everybody. Well, let's see. My story goes back about 44 years ago when Becky and I were planning to get married. And I brought a 75A4 and a Viking Ranger over and set it up to just operate CW. And later on, I picked up a KWS-1 and another A4 from Norm Johnson, W6CC, and it was a unit that belonged to Bob Scompton. I ended up with it and brought it by truck to her house and put it in the living room. Told her it wasn't going to stay there, but after we were married, I was going to build a ham shack on the back of the house there where the equipment would go and be my study as well. And so she didn't flinch. So I figured I had the right lady. And obviously, you know, it's sometimes challenging for them, the aesthetic when you talk about antennas. But she hasn't really given me any real problem over it. And she's got a hobby of antique furniture and things, and so we support one another in our hobby. And so that's been wonderful. Anyway, she's been really sweet about ham radio. The biggest problem I had here was more recently, after the stroke in April, she was physically tied with me going down here to the radio room. And but I was fortunate to get a little scooter that I could get on and ride down here, and that I think took a little pressure off. And so I let her know I'm coming down, let her know when I'm coming back up, that kind of thing. So it's all worked out. Alrighty, enough from me. Let's get her over to Skip. I'm sure you've got a lot to say, Skip, from your years of ham radio and relationships and all. K6 LGL, take it away, W6YEC.
Okay, thank you very much, George. W6YEC. Sideband group, K6LGL, thank you, Mark, and Bob for the earlies and doing the net. Hey, 68 years amateur radio, so had a chance to do that. Been married 3 times, married to two of my wives, unfortunately, and every one of them supported me, even though they had no personal interest in amateur radio. But always, we did a lot of mobile operations, and for many years I was in VHF, UHF, and microwave, and I didn't do anything below 30 megacycles there at all. But a lot of that, at one time I had, I think, 6 or 7 radios in the car on various bands, and then ended up running a 220 meter net on the upper sideband. You check in regular 3 and sometimes 4 states on that one, 220. And it can be done with the directional antennas and power. And then started the 23 centimeter net also, which is currently run by K6 TSK outfit. And as far as it helped when one of my bosses that I worked for in engineering and aerospace was also a ham, and also supported me when I joined a security group and ran a net inside the company, a security net, using amateur radio on 220, and was cleared to carry a 2-way radio in certain areas. So it was kind of interesting. It's been an interesting life and all kinds of possibilities. But none of my ladies really had an interest in amateur radio, but they shared an interest in art and music and photography. For instance, one of my ex-wives was an excellent photographer. The last one is a specialized, actually a gourmet cook. So, there's all kinds of things that you can add. Okay, enough of that. Over to Gary. Happy New Year to everybody, and hope you all stay healthy and wealthy and wise, as the saying goes. So over to Gary, WA7BIC, K6 little green light.
Okay, Skip, thanks. This is Gary, WA7BIP in Duarte, California, and we're running the Kenwood TS520S, TS830S tonight, and I guess it has some problems, and I may have to do the same thing Dave did, J6W, go through and change out all the electrolyte caps, because probably somewhere in there, or bad switches or something, I've had some corrosion problems with it, so I gotta get busy. And I gotta find some time to do that, and that leads into the question, as I'm gonna take the fifth on this one, because I've been with my current ex-YL, my only ex-YL for almost 32 years, and she hasn't been very supportive of my hobby, and it's kind of because she's a nurse, registered nurse, and everything has to be super organized and clean, and and the radio and the shack don't fit into that agenda. And I think the secret here is just listen to everybody. It's been very, very convincing to me that you really need to separate church and state. So having a separate place for your radios outside of the house is probably a very good idea. And I think I should learn from that and follow your examples there. So thank you all very much for that. Happy New Year. And we got a new kitchen in the house, so as I continue to recover from the chaos and the damage caused by totally upending our house, I will continue on and move radios out somewhere out of the house, and that's the secret there. So back to you, Mark. Thanks for running that, and I got good copy on you, and yeah, the East Coast signal is starting to get to me here too. NU6X, WA7BIP.
Okay, this is NU6X for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable, and yeah, Gary, there's something kind of a, let's see, as Dennis described it, like a growl or a low frequency modulation on your audio. It's kind of, it's not RF, I don't think, and it doesn't sound like AC hum. So, but I would bet that the frequency is moving a little bit. Okay, so I think that's it for the Vinny's. Let me just double check. Is there any more check-ins for the Vinny's sideband roundtable? Go ahead. Okay, nothing heard. So I think that's it for the evening. It was kind of a different topic to be able to talk about something else than all the radios that we've had, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I hope it was an appropriate question. Anyway, with that, I'm going to shut things down, and whoever wants to take over the frequency is all yours. This is ATU6X for the Vinny sideband. Oh, and okay. One thing, Dennis. Have you got a date set for April?
Yeah, Lisa just reminded me we need to talk about that. Let's talk on the phone tomorrow if you have time.
Just call me, Dennis, whenever you can. There's no hurry.
Okay, good. And the other thing I wanted to ask you tonight was, did you get the email with the photo of the crystals?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry I didn't respond back to that. Yeah, I think it's channel 298 is the crystal that this transmitter uses for its filters, and so and if you do the calculation, it's like 413 kilohertz or something like that is the actual crystal frequency, and I don't know what the displayed frequency is on the crystal, but I'm pretty sure it's channel 298.
Okay, yeah, I don't have channel, well, at least in this first batch that I found. I've still got boxes of these things. I've only found the one box so far, and so I sent you pictures of that. But yeah, they're all real close. You know, it's you take the frequency on the channel and you divide by 72, and that gives you the frequency of the crystal. So they're all right around 450 kilohertz.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. And so, but anyway, well, if you don't go to too much work, but if you come across them and you see channel 298, then or anything close 299 or 297, I can make those work. You can't really change the frequency of those crystals very easily, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Okay, with that, I'm going to shut things down for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable. Thank you, everyone, and 73s. This is NU6X.
73, Mark. Great roundtable tonight, and we'll give you a call